feeling the Bad Batch was going to be one of the very special Disney Star Wars things that come out this year, and it is. It is really turning out to be very, very fun to watch. We're only 3 episodes in, so it could get worse, could get much better. But this episode, the third episode of season 2, is great. It is really, really great. It is called like the Solitary Clone or something like that, and it's literally an entire Crosshair episode with a very special clone coming into this episode. So we start the episode out with, again, I don't remember the names of the first watch, but there's this whole like new planet we're on with the Empire trying to basically take over the planet and, install a new governor from the Empire, because it's basically what they do is take over planets and, take charge. So that's basically what they're trying to do at the beginning. And then we cut the Crosshair with the Imperials, and he's kind of been demoted in a way. He's not really being a commander anymore. He's just kind of, around all the other clones, because he kind of failed on Camino and he was left for dead, and then they eventually came to get him. So he's basically working for the Empire with all the regs, basically, and he's got to kind of earn his way back up. So he's just kind of there, and you can always see whenever they cut the Crosshair with the Empire, he's always just... It always looks like he's contemplating things, even though once you see him do the things in the episode that he does, it's like, wow, he's really, really cold, even though they're trying to give this impression that he's like very conflicted. And I kind of like that. It kind of makes you wonder, like, what is Crosshair really even thinking? Like, is he really contemplating this stuff? Is he really second guessing his, loyalty to the Empire? Or is he just that cold and he wants to serve the Empire no matter what and how miserable it may look? I don't know what they're going to do with Crosshair, but they definitely got the point across to make the Empire just look bleak and miserable as it, is. So we got this mission with Commander Cody. We knew Commander Cody was coming into the season because he was in the trailer. I don't know if we're going to see him again in the season, because all the shots, I think, from the trailer that we saw him in were from this episode. So we knew he was going to be in the season, and we got him in this episode. He's basically decked out in his entire armor we saw from the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith and all that, but it's just literally grayed. It's grayed out, so no more color on his armor. It's just gray, but it's like, it looks the exact same. And he's basically serving the Empire now. Obviously, like all the other clones, he was like one of the first ones we saw execute Order 66. So he is now with the Empire, and he's on a mission with Crosshair to basically install this new governor and rescue him so they can install him in and take over the planet from the locals. That's basically the mission here. So it's a very, very, very action-filled episode, and I just really love some of the visuals in this episode. It looks great, and just I really love the action. I think it's just fun. It's super, super fun to watch, and it's interesting to get the perspective of, it's like a Clone Wars episode almost, where you got the droids, where the locals have these like reanimated droids that they're using to fight the Empire, and it's almost like we're seeing the clones versus the droids again. It's a Clone Wars episode in a way, but it's the Empire versus the rest of the people basically in the galaxy. That's basically how this works now. So it's literally kind of like a Clone Wars episode. It looks like one. They're fighting all these different battle droids and commander droids and all that stuff, but it is the Empire now. It's not the Republic, so that's the difference here. But it's fun to kind of go back to the Clone Wars style type stuff a little bit. Very, very fun. And obviously you get to see Crosshair do a lot of his cool sniping and everything like that. He's got some really cool abilities, of course. You got to see that shine in this episode. We got to see the droids once again, some bickering along with the droids and stuff. Always fun to see that, because that was a very special thing they did in the Clone Wars, where you always got the droids bickering along to each other and everything like that. Super fun to see that. And then there's just a lot of conflict with Commander Cody through the whole episode, which is something I think a lot of people expected to see. The clones, the whole big story with the Bad Batch, it seems to be with not just the Bad Batch, but the clones in general. The clone story within this series is, I think they're trying to tell us why clones are not used in the Empire and why they ended up ultimately using stormtroopers. It was their plan from the beginning to use stormtroopers, but this is the big reason why they can't use clones in the Empire. It's because they are starting to realize that the Empire is just not good. The Empire is not the Republic, and they're just serving this very, very tyrannical, terrible empire here, and it's not what they initially thought it was with their implant in the in Order 66 and all that stuff. It's starting to kind of fade away or wear off, and it's basically happening. I don't know if it's every clone, obviously, because there's so many clones, but the clones we've seen, we continuously see, even like last week with the commander that Rampart ended up killing. Like, we saw him, starting to disobey orders from the Empire. Like, I can't falsify a report, and that's just a little thing. And even that alone is just they're starting to disobey orders because the Empire is extremely strict, and it's just not what the clones were bred for, I suppose. And this shot right here is probably the best shot of the whole episode. Just look at how amazing this looks, by the way. The animated series for Star Wars have gotten incredible. The Disney money is certainly showing here within these new series. That is for sure. But this shot right here is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Really cool to see that, like, that Star Destroyer there, along with the whole like facility and everything. It just looks great. And at the end of the episode, obviously the mission's done. They kill the people. Basically, they take over the planet. They install the new governor because Crosshair is just that good, of course. And then at the end of the episode, you get to see Cody just so conflicted, because this is the familiar sight now in this show where all these clones are starting to turn. It's like, we don't want to serve this. What is this? This is not what we signed up for. This is not what we were made for. We were made to serve the Republic and the Jedi, and we are now doing the exact opposite, and we are taking out innocents. So that's basically what we're saying. He's watching all these. I'm assuming these are recruits. I don't know, but I don't think these soldiers right here are actually clones. I think the ones with the new helmets, that they're kind of transitioning between the stormtroopers and the clones. I think these brand new like transition helmets here are kind of the new recruits. This is the beginning of the stormtroopers rather than the clones. We saw that last season too, so it's nothing new, but we're continuously seeing more and more of them rather than the clones themselves. In the end of the episode, we basically got this conversation between Crosshair and Cody, and Cody's basically asking, like, is this really what we signed up for? This is really what we're doing? Like, this is not what we signed up for. And that's kind of basically the conversation there. And then he walks away, and that's basically the end of Cody in this episode. But we do learn something more of Cody later. So Crosshair, he wakes up, he does the same thing we saw at the beginning of the episode, and he talks with Rampart, and Rampart mentions that Cody has gone AWOL. He's gone. He left. He disappeared. So Cody obviously has made the decision that the Empire is not what it is. Like, it's not what he wants. It's not what he wants to do. And who knows if we're going to see Cody again. I'm thinking we probably will at some point, maybe later in the season with, Rex or something. But Cody has ran off, and that's probably a good thing. We'll see more of him later instead of maybe being executed by the Empire. I don't know. But it was a very good episode of The Bad Batch for sure, and we got to see more conflict with the clones. The clones are just such a fascinating story to see with their conflict with the Empire, and especially Crosshair, super interesting character that they've created here. And I can't wait to see what they do with him, because we're basically still doing this conflict thing with him. I kind of hope they wrap it up at some point, though, because as interesting as it is, the whole conflict thing with Crosshair was kind of a big thing throughout season 1 as well. So I kind of hope we move on from it at some point, but I don't know how long it's going to go. Crosshair, though, super interesting character. I really love him. Probably my favorite member of the Bad Batch, like, in general, but, he's the bad guy now, of course. So, like, yeah. Great episode. Episode 3, Solitary Clone. Amazing episode. I'm sure we're going to get some filler episodes in this season as well. I'm already expecting it. At some point, we're going to get these episodes that are probably just pretty basic and not too exciting, but this one was really good. Really solid episode, and the season's off to a really good start. Last week was really good as well. Very basic mission, but it was very good to catch up with the Bad Batch again, the actual main crew. And this week we get to see Crosshair's perspective, and we get to see Cody again, Rampart some more, and some more of the clone stuff as well. And it's turning out to be a very, very fantastic season 2 so far. I'm looking forward to episode 4, whatever it is. And at some point in the middle of the season, we're going to have like another double episode, and then the finale is a double episode. So it's going to go a little quicker, I think, than the first season did when it aired. But Bad Batch, the animated stuff, it always hits in a different way for some reason. I think it's Dave Filoni's touch. I don't know how involved he is with the show, but it just, you can feel that he has some sort of impact on this series, or he just managed to choose the right people to work on this show, because it just feels so different than the stuff we've been getting lately, and I love it. I think it's really, really fun. So, great episode, and I'm looking forward to episode 4.